Good evening, this is Ken Law from Tortoise Capital doing a quick check-in on our swing trade workshop trades that we framed over the weekend and we're executing this week, and including some that we are continuing from last week. So this is just the Tuesday check-in. So the first one we're looking at is Apple. We're looking at everything on daily charts here. It's possible to look at these on 30-minute and 2-hour as we've seen before. I'm going to demonstrate once on Apple so you can see what it looks like, but then just revert to the dailies. So we first framed Apple last week. We saw that the river had been sloping downward. The dragon had bottomed out. We had a sideways quiet channel working here as you see the dragon getting narrower. And then we had a bottom that was tested. And so we ended up framing this day on Friday. We were looking for a breakout 5 cents above with a stop down here, but we never got it during the week until Friday. We had a move, and so we got our entry at about 97 even with a stop down here at about 93, so about a $4 stop. The dragon sloping up, got the breakout in a big move today. We're almost back to the RL270. This is a place where, since we're still in bear normal, I would normally be thinking about cashing this position here, or just moving my stop up into here, thinking we're going to get one more day of good momentum that'll carry us across. My reasonable target at the time of the entry was up here at the 270. We're almost there. So I'm liking Apple. I think it's something everybody has to own, and this looks like a very favorable move. If I look back deeper, you can see that if we can get past these two price targets, then we get up into this cluster, and 108 is in range, and then 117 is in play. So this looks very favorable to me. We just have to get above this target, and I would look at adding a second position around 105 with momentum. On the other hand, I want to preserve this gain, so I will think about moving my stop up in there and locking that in tomorrow. This is one that I'll manage on a 2-hour or a 30-minute play during the day. Next one, American Express. We got our entry in the usual way. On this one, this was a RLCO pattern 1, and then an RLXD where the 10-period regression line crosses the dragon deep near the southern border of the river. We get our entry here, our stop just below the southern skin of the dragon. It's waffled around for a while and then finally had a nice breakout. It looks to be free and clear over the last 30 days. I like the way this one is shaping up in a sector that was beaten down. The next cluster is around 6250 and the RL270, so I like this one. If we can get above this at 59, I would consider adding a second position, because then it's going to close the gap up into here. So I like AXP. That one is looking good. Caterpillar, we got our entry in the usual way. Here we've got this entry is up in here, sorry. And still moving out nicely. If it has gotten above the hump in the dragon right here, the next price target is up around 71.5. This looks very favorable. Chevron, no trade. DuPont, we got our entry from last Friday's trade frame, and now we're about 7 days into this. We're free and clear above this swing high. The next target is up in here at the top of the dragon hump around 66.5. If we get through that, get above 67.50, I'll look at adding the second position. But I like this one. This is one I would also consider moving my stop up to here and locking in my gains. But we'll take what we have so far. In the diamonds, we got an entry today. We had framed this trade on Monday. It didn't fire, and then so this was Friday. And the entry would have been above this line. Let me zoom in closer here. The entry would normally be up in here, but we didn't get that on Monday, and so for Tuesday we just pull that down to here, and we get a nice orderly entry. It takes out that high, so we're in at about 167 even, and it's above this line here. I like the range expansion and the volatility expansion to the upside. We're above the RL270. next cluster is up here by the top of the dragon hump, so 175. So we've got some room to go. If we can get above this arc at about 178, then I would look at adding a second position. Disney, we had our trade frame. It didn't fire on Monday, fired on Tuesday. I like it looks like a little sea serpent poking his way north. The target is up here at the RL270. This is a nice orderly move. Nothing strange or unusual. The usual stop here just below the PSAR. This is looking good for day one. The Dow from last week got our entry in here. Our stop here below the PSAR. The Dragon is now coming out of the river. RL has crossed the 10 period Dragon. Off we got a 1, 2, 3 upside, looking good. This is where I'll add a second position above this cluster of resistance. This is one that I would also tend to manage by looking to move this up during the day and below yesterday's low, just to start locking in that much of a gain. So I'm liking this so far. Devon Energy, no trades. Emerging markets, no trade. Brazil, we got our entry today. We framed it here. Got our entry actually yesterday, when this price broke out. So I'm liking this. I like its 1, 2, 3 top. The next resistance is up in here around 22 or 23. So this is looking good on a single position. Facebook, we didn't frame a trade on this one, but this is one that I like. I'm thinking a reasonable target is up in here at Z plus 2. I would be willing to trade this one using that following trade frame on momentum, because I think you have to own Facebook at some point. So that would be our trade frame tomorrow. Opens inside this range, takes out the green line target here, and I think that's reasonable. There was no trade in financials, or I mean in China. Goldman Sachs, we got our entry today. This is, you can see the changing in the regime. Our target's going to be up here at the RL270. This is our entry with about a $10 stop, so that's about a 6% stop. No trade in Home Depot. I'm really liking the small caps here. We got our entry earlier last week. Our initial stop down here below the PSAR in 5 days in a row. It's almost at its fair value, and so this is one where tomorrow I will lock in that gain. I like the recovery in the small caps. It says that there's some energy coming back in on the long side on trades. U.S. real estate, this has been a strong sector. From last week's trade frame, we got our entry here in the usual way. When it crossed its own RL270, it's left the river up near the edge of the floodplain. If it gets through this little cluster, my next target would be up in here. This is where, if it clears 74.5, is where I would add a second position. I will manage this stop tomorrow by moving this guy. By moving the stop up into this area to preserve that gain for tomorrow. No trade in JP Morgan. Coca-Cola, we're still below water on this one. We got our entry back here last week. It's been mucking around. We still have a wide stop, so that could be dead money. If it doesn't work tomorrow, I'll be looking to recycle that money. I have where's our trade in McDonald's? No trade in McDonald's. No trade in Merck. That's one we missed. Microsoft, we got our entry last week here. We're still sideways chopping in the river, but the river is starting to flow upwards. This one has to get through this hump around 55 before I would add a second position. Cautiously optimistic here. Nike got our entry last week. That's all free and clear. RL10's out of the river. This is one where I'll move my stop up there tomorrow. That's working fine. Procter & Gamble got our entry still below water. This could be dead money. If I get a chance to clear this one tomorrow, I will. missed this opportunity in tech. S&P is looking favorable. Treasuries, we took our 1 hour loss on this one. Our entry was here, our risk was here. Got hit today on today's decisive move. I could have been quicker on exiting that one. Tesla, we're in here from 170 with a stop at 155, and we're up around 186, so maybe 0.6 in hand. I like this one. I will preserve that gain, so if it starts failing tomorrow, I will cut that one quick. United Health, got our entry here. We're still in the money. I'm looking to add a second position up here because of the discussion. You can see from last week's discussion why I think this is really a powerful move. That if it gets above this line, these are all-time highs, it will have cleared this congestion and off it goes. And then that long-term previous momentum kicks in, and then off it goes. So this is one that I have real high hopes on. I want to get a second position on if it can clear the congestion. United Tech, no trade. VIX, no trade. You can see the failing in there. Verizon, this is an RLXD who just flat missed. No excuse for that one. Verizon's been a relative strength leader, just flat missed it. Walmart, we got a nice channeling entry in here. We're long from 64.5. We're up around 66.5 on a $2, so we're about plus 0.8. I would really like to see this rebound. I'm a little disappointed that it didn't have a big pop today, and so that's one where if we get any kind of weakness, I'm going to lock in some kind of gain right there. This should be participating more than it is. Failure to follow through is information. Win, one of our hybrid frog candidates in the mornings, got our entry here on the usual frame from last week. Looking good at 87 on an entry from 70. That's 17 points on an 8 point, so that's about little over 2R. I should have gotten a second position in on that one today. So what we'll do is, if I get any kind of momentum tomorrow, what I'm going to do is move my stop up just underneath to lock in 2R. Try to get a turbo play intraday with the idea of being large on the move from 86 to 100. Now that this is free and clear of all this congestion over here. So that's a quick look at the trade frames that we've been working. I think we may have one more here for ExxonMobil. No, this is one we were looking at shorting, but no movement in there. This is another one that just got away. This is the perfect classic. Look at this. The dragon fell out of the river, got the P1, the RLCO, the regression line crossover outside, across the 270, missed the RLXD, missed the continuation, missed the breakout above. So this is just one that got away. I should be in this somewhere around $13 with about $1.50 or maybe $1 of risk. And so that's 3R that got away from lack of attention. But part of that is just the span of control and an unwillingness to have too much exposure on the long side on swings during bear volatile and bear normal. So we'll take the ones that we have. We got a dozen positions working, a couple that got to be managed closely, but things are looking pretty good. So that's an interim intra-week check-in with the swing trades. I'm expecting more follow-through tomorrow because of the decisive move up today. But I just want to take a quick look here at this XIV on a daily chart. That looks really good. If we look down here at 10-minute charts, that's what today's price action looked like. And this is nothing but going north on 10-minute charts. So that's a sign of some real market strength as it turns the corner, found support, and off it goes decisively. I wanted to go back and look at Apple on 30-minute and 2-hour charts. So if we look at Apple on 2 hours, I like the fact that it's cleared this congestion over here. This is where we got our entry. This looks good. If it can get above this hump, this is going to be favorable. If it gets above this hump, this is where I'm looking to add a second position, ultimately with the target up around 117. And so if we can look in 30 minutes real quick. This is one where we essentially, that the entry on 30 minutes is an RLXD or a pattern 4 in the RLCO. It didn't fail here where it could have, held support above the RL270 and got a nice entry going here. And you can see we've still got a pretty wide stop down here in Apple because we're treating this as a swing. But tomorrow, if we get any kind of market retracement or weakness, I will run to catch to lock in as much of that as I can. So that's about where we are right now. So Ken Law from Tortoise Capital, the quick check-in on our swing trades. We're doing some pretty good work on it with our online advanced swing workshop. Guys are pretty happy with it. We're about halfway through that 10-week course, and pretty satisfied with the way we're getting the implementation practice on the swing systems that we teach in our workshops here and in Raleigh. So keep your risk measured and your powder dry, and we'll see you in the chat room.